Will somebody ask Mr. Islas to log off and log back on, see if he can hear us then?
Let me send him a chat real quick, Judge.
Okay. Looks like YouTube might actually work today. There it goes. Okay. Mr. Islas, can you hear me? No? Okay, good morning, Ms. Zavala. Can you hear me? You need to unmute your microphone. Click on the little microphone icon.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Mr. Velasquez, if you'll mute yourself,
Excuse me?
mute yourself, click on the microphone.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Court calls the case of State of Texas versus Cynthia Zavala, cause number 2022-0C05801. This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration and the El Paso Council Judge's statement to the attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus. May I have announcement of counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Omar Silva for the state. We're ready.
Good morning, everyone. Ana Yeldo with the El Paso Public Defender Office here on behalf of Ms. Cynthia Zavala, also ready.
All right. And you are Cynthia Zavala?
Yes,
Raise your right hand, ma'am. Solemnly swear affirm testimony may give in this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right. What do you have, Ms. Yaldo?
Thank you, Judge. Last week, Your Honor, I filed a motion to withdraw and substitute counsel. As I was reviewing Ms. Zavala's case, I discovered a direct conflict. Our office currently represents the co-defendant in the theft charge that Ms. Zavala has. And the defenses would clash with each other. They're blaming each other for the incident. I did speak with the attorney for Mr. Luis Javier Ruiz, who is our current client as well. He's Ms. Zavala's co-defendant. I spoke with Mr. Driscoll from my office. We have been representing Mr. Ruiz for longer than Ms. Zavala, and additionally, he has 9 cases, whereas Ms. Zavala just has the 1. I figured it would be easiest to ask to withdraw off of hers, so she's able to get a new attorney rather than withdraw off of all 9 of Mr. Ruiz's cases.
Okay. Mr. Silva, do you have anything?
No, Your Honor. I mean, Ms. Yaldo stated that there's a conflict, so the state has no objection.
All right. Then the court will grant your motion, Ms. Yaldo. If I can have Rihanna just appoint whoever's next on the wheel, please.
Will do, Judge.
I don't know if you've submitted your order, Ms. Yaldo, but if not, please do so.
Yes,
And
Judge,
further.
it's attached to the motion. Nothing further from the defense partner. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
You
Ms.
may
Zavala.
be excused.
Thank you,
And
Judge.
Ms. Zavala, you may go ahead and log off as well.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, I'll
Mr.
see you in an hour. Thank you so much.
Mr. Islas is logging back on. Let's hope that he can hear us this time. All right, Mr. Islas, can you hear me? Mr. Islas? Ask him to try to log on either a different computer, tablet, phone, something else.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Let's see who else is here.
I cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Lujan. Who are you on? You're muted.
Sorry,
I cannot log on with another device. I'm
I'm on Ron's docket.
illiterate with the computer.
Then we will need to set this for an in-person matter. Email him that, and Mr. Velasquez, if you'll stay in contact with your attorney so that he can notify you when we have the in-person hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may want to wait around for a little while, see if he manages to log on with something that he can hear us with.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Okay, let's do the admonishment on Mr. Dean. While we wait for the attorneys on the other cases. Good morning, Mr. Dean. If you will turn on your microphone and your camera, please. There you go. Court calls the case of the state of Texas versus Mohammed Dean, cause numbers 2020-C09000 and 2020-C01547. This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration and the El Paso Council of Judges statement to the attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus. May I have announcement of counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Omar Silva for the state. We're ready.
Mr. Dean, did you hire an attorney for this hearing?
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't know I had to get like my old attorney back involved with it.
You don't have to, that's up to you. This is an admonishment hearing since you are on probation and your probation officer contacted the court about your violations. If you want to hire a lawyer, I will reset this matter 1 week.
1 week. So
Yes.
what's the whole violation thing about? Like, is it like?
That's what we're going to cover once we get into the hearing. So you let me know whether you want to hire a lawyer and reset this matter for next week or whether we're going to proceed.
Oh, we can go ahead.
All right, then. Mr. Dean was placed on probation for these 2 DWIs in March of 2022 for 2 years. I understand he transferred to Virginia, did not install the ignition interlock until July 6th of 2022. On 12/15, the PO was contacted that Mr. Dean had done neither the DWI school or the victim impact panels and had 6 skips on his interlock. He was alleging that it was due to his sleep apnea because it was a certain window in the morning. I believe it was 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. She asked him for medical documentation. He failed to provide it and continued to skip. He has also done none of his community service hours. On December 28th, after this hearing was set, he finally submitted the medical documentation, and between December 28th and January 3rd, there were no skips. The windows for blowing were adjusted. Mr. Dean, first off, transferring to Virginia is a privilege. You are on probation in El Paso.
Yes, ma'am.
In order to transfer, you need to be in compliance.
Yes, ma'am.
You are not in compliance with anything.
I mean, with
Have
the
you taken care of the DWI school and victim impact panel?
yes, ma'am. I sent them my certificate. I already did the victim impact. I sent them the certificate. I'm in the DWI AA class right now, and it just started like 2 weeks ago. So we're not gonna get done till like the end of this month. And then the only thing after that is just like my community service hours, the 80 hours. After the class, that's the only thing I got left. And then with the missed blow, I'm on medication like sleeping meds. So I be like oversleeping. That's the only time I be missing like my morning blows. And I got like paperwork for it right here.
She did tell me you did submit the medical documentation finally.
I mean,
You
it's not
have
like
2 DWIs, Mr. Dean. I don't
Correct.
put up with people skipping blows for any reason.
yes, ma'am.
And I don't put up with people blowing positive on this machine.
I don't
As
even
of
drink.
yet, you have 0 positive blows, but I'm
Oh.
warning you now. You need to get started on those community service hours now.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, you're going to be ordered to return to El Paso and live here until your probation is up. I get one more complaint from them. One, either we're going to file a motion to revoke, or I'm going to order you to return to El Paso and start complying. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I don't want to hear back from you, Mr. Dean.
Okay.
Good luck to you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I believe we have Miss
That's it.
Ray. Good morning, Mr. Ray.
Good morning, Your Honor. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you. Is this your client, Mr. Stogner?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, as soon as he connects, we'll go ahead and get started. Here you go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr.
We
Stogner,
appreciate
can
you
you hear me?
accommodating us.
Mr. Stogner? Click on the microphone there to unmute.
Okay.
yourself.
Can you
There
hear
you
me?
go. Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Your Honor. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Court calls a case of the state of Texas versus Rod Stogner, cause number 2020-C08873.
This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration and the El Paso Council of Judges through the T attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus.
May I have an announcement of counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Omar Silva for the state. We're ready.
Good morning, Your Honor. James Ray on behalf of the defendant. We are ready.
Ricardo Lujan with the adult probation partner, Your Honor.
All right, whoever has the radio or TV or something on, please mute yourself. Thank you. All right, what do you have, Mr. Ray?
Your Honor, we are here again before Your Honor after being here before Your Honor in October, whereby Your Honor had suggested we come back after a few months and have Your Honor reconsider our motion for early termination of community supervision. Your Honor, Mr. Stogner had entered into a plea of guilty for a charge of violation of protective order. He was sentenced to 12 months deferred adjudication and placed on probation with you in March of last year. Since his supervision, Mr. Stogner has regularly reported and has complied with all of the terms and conditions of Your Honor's supervision. He has satisfactorily complied with all the terms and conditions of your supervision and attempted to demonstrate a desire to improve himself by reporting regularly and cooperating with his community supervision officer and attending regularly Alcoholics Anonymous, Your Honor, as well as providing community service and donating to the local food bank, Your Honor. I believe he has paid all his fine and court costs and is current on all fees. And we would pray that Your Honor consider terminating and discharging Mr. Stogner from community supervision and dismissing the action that is before Your Honor today.
All right, Mr. Silva, do you have anything?
Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Ray stated, a defendant was placed on probation for 12 months in March. The probation was for violation of a protective order, and the reason is having to keep the defendant away from Ms. Lorena Figueroa. Although the defendant has paid all the.
Mr. Silva, I'm so sorry. Could you speak up? There's some interference happening.
Yes. I don't know whose that is, but if you can hear it, please turn it off or move, do whatever you need to cut off that interference.
Mr. Stogner, can you mute yourself real quick and let's see if it's your phone?
That's it.
Thank you.
All right.
I apologize.
Go ahead.
So as I may continue, as Mr. Ray said, he has finished his community service, paid all his fines, but the violation of the protective order and the probation was to keep him from Ms. Figueroa. If he is one of the terms of his conditions of his probation is not commit new offenses. If he's released for probation, that will allow him to be able to contact Ms. Figueroa without any recourse. Because
Has he contacted her during this time?
Your Honor, if I may, Ms. Figueroa is his ex-wife. They share a 12-year-old son together. They have split custody and co-parent that child. And so I just wanted to make that understood by the court and all involved, so that if there has been contact, I believe it has to do with the raising of their son.
Well, there are ways to go around that, and as I'm sure you're aware of, the family courts will usually order them to exchange for visitation in different manners. But has there been, Mr. Silva, any contact with Ms. Figueroa?
not that the state knows, Your Honor, but I believe that the state's position is that has to do with him being on probation, and that's the concern of the state.
Does he have any prior BPOs or assaults?
He was convicted from an AFB in 2015, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Lujan, did he do the family violence counseling?
Your Honor, yes, he did. He completed that.
Parenting classes?
Yes, Your Honor. He's completed all the conditions that you set forth for him, Your Honor. He completed. And
As
Your Honor,
well as a mental health screening?
yes, ma'am, Your Honor, but we didn't find any, there was no, he didn't need any kind of treatment from the EHN from Wincentive, but he is on medication, Your Honor. I do have his medications that he's on, if you'd like to know those ones.
No, that's fine. All right. Yes, sir.
Yes, sorry, Your Honor. It's on his condition, it had stated for no threatening or offensive contact, but I had gotten no word of from Ms. Figueroa of any offensive contact.
And he's on probation for 1 year?
Yes, ma'am. His probation is supposed to end in March, Your Honor. March the 23rd.
After reviewing everything, Mr. Stogner, I'm going to go ahead and grant your motion for early discharge. But I would warn you now to not harass or have any offensive contact with Ms. Figueroa, or you will find yourself back in the same boat. Understood? All right. Anything further, counsel?
Nothing further
from
Nothing,
nothing further for Mr. Stogner.
Okay, then you all may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for accommodating us early.
Thank you,
Your Honor.
Mr. Ray.
Take care. Happy New Year, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye-bye. Is Mr. Velasquez still with us? No? Mr. Islas, can you hear me now? Mr.
Yes,
Islas?
Your Honor, I can.
All right, your client apparently has logged off, so if you can contact him to log back on, we will go ahead and do your hearing today.
Let me see if I could phone him.
All right. If you'll mute yourself for now, because I'm going to go on to another hearing.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan, if you can have a way to email him or something, please do so.
Will do, Judge.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Solis. Mr. Briones, if you'll turn on your camera and unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I'm trying to start the video, but there we go.
Okay, court calls the cases of the state of Texas versus Michael Briones, cause numbers 2019-0C06033 and 2021-0C00397. This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration and the El Paso Council Judge's statement to the attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus. May I have announcement of counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Omar Silva for the state. We're ready.
Good morning, Your Honor. Araceli Solis on behalf of Mr. Briones. We're ready.
All right, you may proceed, Ms. Solis.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, I filed a motion to remove conditions of ignition interlock back on December the 15th. My client had pled guilty to a DWI while intoxicated, and he received a 90-day jail commitment. It ran concurrent with another case. There was two cases, Your Honor. Basically, he was released on February the 9th of 2021. He's had no ignition interlock violations, Your Honor. His license is actually set to be reinstated on January the 7th. However, there's some conditions that he had to fulfill. One of which he had to submit proof that he completed a 12-hour DWI course, which he did. Another one, he would be required to provide an ignition interlock release order, Your Honor, and that's why we're here this morning.
All right. The problem, Ms. Solis, is that as per the statute, if you have 2 DWI convictions within 5 years, you are to keep the interlock on for 1 year after your license has been reinstated, whether you're on probation or not. So if his license suspension time is up January 7th of 2023, he's to keep the interlock on till January 7th, 2024. So at this time, I'm going to deny your motions.
Yes, Your Honor. I was just under the impression since he had already completed the time period.
Right, but the statute clearly says that whether he's on
DWIs.
probation or not.
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, you may be excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Velasquez is logging on again.
I'm gonna call you, Mr. Briones. Thank you.
No problem. All right.
All right. Court calls the case of State of Texas versus John Velasquez, cause number 2022-0C01888. This proceeding is being heard in reference to and in compliance with the emergency orders of the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals under various miscellaneous docket numbers regarding the COVID-19 state of disaster, the guidance issued by the Office of Court Administration and the El Paso Council Judge's statement to the attorneys of the El Paso Bar in response to coronavirus. May I have announcement of counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. Omar Silva for the state. We're ready.
Good morning, Your Honor. Luis Cistas from John Velasquez. It's my motion to withdraw as the attorney of record.
Yes, sir.
And I set forth the reasons in my motion. I had removed myself from the appointment wheel in June of 2022, excuse me. And I've been suffering from worsening spinal vertebrae issues that are affecting my ability to perambulate, to move around, to walk, to the extent that I do not believe I could effectively represent Mr. Velasquez in a trial of this case. And for that reason, I'm asking the court to permit me to withdraw. I'm also his attorney in Criminal District Court number 1 in a credit card, debit card abuse case under 2022 0D01855, and I will be moving to withdraw in that case also. Also, Your Honor, I've been informed by the district attorney that there is another in state jail felony indictment for unauthorized use of vehicle. I don't know if that's been filed yet or not. I know he has not been arraigned on that case. But for all those reasons, and the case is getting more complex, I'm asking the court to permit me to withdraw and to appoint other counsel to represent Mr. Velasquez.
Is this case definitely going to be a jury trial, Mr. Islas?
I don't think so, Your Honor, but I know that the court in your docket calls, you push for the case to move, but with these other felony cases, it gets difficult to move this case.
Okay. That being the case, the court will go ahead and grant your motion, Mr. Islas. If there are any other cases that you have in the court and you don't think you're going to handle, please file the motions to withdraw as soon as possible.
I do not believe I have any other cases before Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much. You may be excused. And Rihanna, if you will go ahead and appoint the public defenders on this case and let them know what the next hearing is set for.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, then I believe that concludes our 10 o'clock and 10:30 docket. So I'll see everybody back at 11.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.